All right, Ivan, how are you today?
Very good, Stuart. How are you?
Not too bad. Did you want to bring something to the table today, Ivan, or
Yeah,
not?
I have a couple of things on the table. Just wanted to say I spent the weekend in Barcelona actually,
Oh, really?
and I wanted to mention that and it has been my first time in Barcelona. Sorry,
Did you
in
get your
all this.
passport stamped?
Not yet, not
Oh,
yet.
not yet. Okay,
Even
so
with
that's
the
right. Oh, I
DNA,
forgot. So. Just joking, just joking.
I thought that you didn't want to get too political, Stuart.
No, I'll edit that part out, Ivan. Don't worry. I'll edit that part out. Don't worry.
Damn it.
Or not. Or not. I don't know.
Keep it, don't worry.
We'll wait and see. So, how was it?
So,
How was Barcelona?
yeah, it was very good. I wanted to say that it has been the first time that I have been in Barcelona, in my 30 odd years.
Mm,
And I can really realize why the foreign people have an attraction for Barcelona. And, all the
absolutely.
architecture,
Yeah.
being beside the sea. You need to be careful. That's what I wanted to mention. But,
Yeah.
that nothing that doesn't happen in any other big city.
Yeah.
But just a little bit of common sense, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was really good, really really good. Enjoy the food,
Yeah.
enjoy the people, the views in the Barceloneta district as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
We went into the Born to for a couple of dinner. It was
Yeah.
really nice. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So totally get why the people is attracted to Barcelona and the Sagrada Familia.
Yeah,
When
of
they
course.
finish,
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah,
they
yeah,
finish,
yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
be amazing.
Yeah, let's be honest. Barcelona has the reputation as the number one tourist city in Spain. I mean, I don't think we can deny that. It has that
Yeah,
international tourist attraction. Obviously, I've
100%.
always thought that it's because of the Olympics. The Olympics put Barcelona on the map, and I was always surprised when a non-capital city won the Olympics, especially in Europe. Normally, it's the capital city of a country that gets the Olympics. If you look at the Parises, you look at the Londons, the
True, true.
Berlins, etc. I think Rome had the Olympic Games, but then in Spain they gave it to Barcelona, and that's what happens.
Even Sydney and non Canberra is tour.
Yeah, but the new countries, whether it be the United States, the Canadas, the Australias, for example, the capital city is not the emblematic city of the country. Do you know what I mean?
That's very true.
It's the political city. It's where all the civil servants are, but it's not a place where people visit. So if people are going to go to Australia, they'll go to Sydney, they'll go to Melbourne, they might even go to Brisbane, but they're not going to go to Canberra
Mm.
to visit it. And I'm sure that in Canada, the same thing happens with Ottawa. Washington's a
Yeah.
little bit different because obviously, it has the that political side that people go to New York, they visit Washington at the same time. But
Mm.
a lot of the cities in the newer countries in the world, Ivan, don't have that historical capital city that we get in Europe. Do you know what I mean?
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
So, just encourage everybody to visit Spain, to visit Barcelona, and any other city and that they visit area is lovely. So I really had a good time.
Good, good, good. So, what's on the agenda?
So I have a couple of things I wanted to mention because there have been a little bit of discussion over the different episodes.
About
As
the new
always,
world?
the new world, there's many other things. Correos again.
Okay,
I,
okay.
I have my own bid, or I had a package from the UK. I get
Yeah.
a good friend of mine to get a couple of letters. Really, it wasn't even a parcel or anything like that. And in origin, it cost it to post it to me. Probably was like, I don't know, 10 envelopes.
Yep.
It says it was 160 grams, and it cost £4.25 in origin, and
Four
I have
pounds
to pay to
twenty-five. Okay.
Correos another €5 to actually receive it.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
Why
I
was
was
that? The postage was wrong, or?
no. They say actually, and I have the Correos. I can pass it to you so you can put it on the
Mm,
channel.
mm.
They say like customs fee. So pretty much just to post the letter here from London to Spain. And
Yeah,
I thought that with a small parcel or with presents, you have mentioned as well from Australia,
yeah,
it might be the case. But with a letter, 160 grams, it was well, it was kind
yeah.
of like
Well,
a A4 size, but I was
yeah.
very
I'm not
surprised.
I'm not sure what the case is when it comes to letters. I know that I've spoken about this on numerous occasions. That if, let's say, for example, my mother sends a birthday present to my son, for example, that they buy there. Maybe it's a T-shirt, some toys or whatever. You normally get slapped with a tax here
Yeah.
because you haven't paid the European duties. But I
Yes.
can't see it would be the case for a letter.
I will send you the Courier one so you can show it
We'll
to
check it
the
out. We'll
rest of the
check it
channel.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
and
That's it.
literally says aduana. So yeah, be careful out
Ah,
there.
okay. Yeah. The customs, aduanas is the customs, of course, and
Correct. Yeah.
they are very strict.
And after Brexit, it's just been increasingly difficult. So yes, as a aviso para navegantes, like warning to everyone out there, just be
Yeah,
mindful that these things might happen even with normal letters, apparently. So
that's it. That's it. Yeah. Well, that's another aspect of the UK leaving the union, of course.
exactly, one of the perks that we have.
One of the perks. Good word. I like that word. One of the perks. That's right. Yeah. But if you're in the UK, there's no problem, of course, because you're not sending letters anywhere, are you? You're just sending them locally, so there's no problem.
Unless somebody wants to post you some PG tips. So I don't know. What's my
Well, you can
favorite
buy
PA?
PG tips here, Eva. You can get them in Carrefour.
I know. I'm a fan of Clippers. I don't know
Okay.
why. And when I was in Ireland, actually, I get, I wasn't like a tea person, being Spanish. I like my.
Very few people are tea people before they go to
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
UK or Ireland. Yeah.
I have my saying after being all these years abroad. It's like you should never order a tea in a coffee country. Vice versa, you should never order a coffee in a tea country. Obviously,
No. Well, it's
generalizations
getting
are.
better, is it? I think
Yeah, it's
coffee's
getting
getting
better.
better, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, it's getting better, and obviously generalizations are always bad. But when I get tea here
Yeah.
in a cafe or something like that, usually it's not as good as there.
No, because the brand that they use, firstly, is not very good. So the main brand that you'll get normally when you go to a bar here is one called Horniman's, which is not a very good quality tea from the beginning. And the
It's a
other,
bit of an unfortunate name, isn't it?
well, that's right. And the other thing they do is they don't heat the water properly. They sort of do it in the coffee machine, which is not really. It's not a kettle experience.
Oh my God. I have this argument since I have been here because we don't have a kettle. And
no, well, you can buy them as well, though.
My wife really misses a kettle.
That's it. You have to get a kettle if you want to make a good cup of tea.
Definitely.
And the other thing is that people don't understand the concept of a white tea. Here it's called a té con leche, and
they totally destroy just adding just too much. They don't get
there's either too much milk or there's not enough. And I even had the experience once where I got a glass of warm milk with a tea bag inside it. So that was an experience as well. But
I can envisage a lot of English subscribers going mad.
Well, I didn't drink coffee before I came to Spain, Ivan. I didn't drink coffee until I was like 32, maybe. I'd never had a cup of coffee, but now I'm a coffee drinker just because I've had to adapt.
Definitely, that's what happens when you're abroad and you don't have your ingredients or your preferences. That's really what happened.
Basically, that's it. Yeah, you have to
I feel myself a little bit, all over the place because I have been missing things here and there from different countries. But for example, I never imagined that the best coffee country that I could visit, it was going to be Australia. It's unbelievable. The coffee scene in Oz is absolutely incredible. Amazing. I really, really enjoy coffee. I think I didn't value coffee as much until I went to Australia. I have been to Melbourne, I have been to Sydney, I have been to Brisbane, I have been to Toowoomba. Everywhere. It's just the small little independent coffees. It's very, very rare to find something that is not a good cup of coffee.
Well, that's one of the things that I find is that Australia, I mean, I haven't lived in Australia for a long time, Ivan, but I have noticed that when I go back there, the coffee scene has really picked up, and you do get a good cup of coffee basically everywhere you go now. They have a profession which is called a barista, and
Yeah.
and it's like a person that really takes care of the coffee, the way they make it, and very professional. And I even find that here in Spain, I don't, unless you go to a specialty coffee shop, which in Madrid there are plenty around now. Coffee, the coffee experience is not it's worse than in Australia.
Yeah, definitely much worse. I'm surprised, to be honest, because I always value the Spanish coffee as much better. And when I went to Ireland and to UK, again, the barista, the coffee scene is growing so much everywhere. It's picking up in Spain, as you have mentioned.
Yeah.
But I never valued that much. And now coming back to Spain and trying this coffee, it's like I get to ask, do you have torrefacto? That is what they do here with the coffee bean. I think, I did a little bit of research, and basically they toast it with sugar to make it more black, to have the perception that it's like better roast or darker coffee, but actually it burns the bean. So it's not as good. So
and you can taste that. You can taste that in there. That's
correct. So I got in these few months that I have been around, I just get to use what kind of coffee do you have? Is it natural or not? Because otherwise it's not worth it. I prefer not to have it.
or as I said, you go to one of those specialty coffee places that you find in the center. So if you go into Malasaña, if you go into Chueca, there's a few of them around those areas there. Chamberí, of course, and you can get a really good cup of coffee. It's a bit more expensive, of course. You pay sometimes €2 for a cup, but it's a good coffee.
You pay what you get.
Basically, that's it. Yeah. But things are changing around the world. That coffee is becoming an art.
Exactly. I will have a bit of a brief section of unfortunate names that we have said about Hornimans. We have also the bread called Bimbo.
Bread Bimbo. Yeah, I think that's it. Even in Mexico they have Bimbo bread. I think so. It's good, but it's also pretty bad in my opinion.
It's quite unfortunate. You know what? I never realized about these kind of things, and obviously it's part of your daily basis. And the same as the tea brand, it's like everywhere. It's one of the main brands. You don't have that many bread brands. You have Pan Rico and you have Bimbo, and for tea, I think you have Hornibans, and that's pretty much it. I don't remember. It doesn't come to my mind any other big brand, while in the UK or in Ireland.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because people don't demand anything more than those brands.
Correct.
So people are happy with the Pan Bimbo type bread. Like I said, for me, if you compare it to it like an English sandwich loaf or an Australian sandwich loaf, it's not the same quality. In my opinion, or even in Ireland, they probably have better quality bread. But here, it doesn't really exist because it's not a sandwich culture.
Exactly. Talking about Ireland, the brown soda bread. If any Irish are on there, and they probably know what I mean, or the potato farls as well for breakfast. Because I really miss those, I have to say.
That's it. Things that you can't really get here.
Maybe I'm becoming a giddy now.
maybe. That's it. All right, good. What else did you want to talk about?
Yeah, just a very quick remark, because I know that also has created a little bit of contradictory or like a messing also in the comments. This Biden and the América de Día de la Hispanidad.
Asking for an apology,
etc. All these political things. They're waiting at the very day just to make the remark. I'm not gonna get deep into this or anything like that. I would like to say that if you are in the country and you are outside of the country, but you have a certain level of Spanish, there is plenty of history podcasts around there. One that I will really encourage, and I'm not being paid or anything like that. I just use it for myself, and I have passed it to a lot of colleagues and friends, and it's called Memorias de un Tambor. It's pretty much focused on Spanish history. It's trying. Well, I think it is quite objective. That history as economics can be political depending on the glasses that you use. They try to be as aseptic as possible.
Yep.
And the only thing that I will say, please listen to history. Try to know the country that you live in, especially if you are here for a long period of time, as knowing the knowledge, the language, sorry, have a knowledge of the culture, know a little bit of the history, also put things on its place. But one of the things that I would like to mention is that the Spanish founded the first two universities in America. It was founded by the Spanish in the 1551, the Universidad Nacional Mayor de San Marcos in Peru, or in 1558, the Universidad de Santo Tomás de Aquino, and in the La Española, now is the Dominican Republic.
Yep.
But just to say, if the discovery was in 1492, we have this pretty much 50 years later, roughly. You have an idea about why the Spanish went there, or what is the idea that the Spanish have for this new world. We can get into detail into further videos. I know they might be a topic of different opinions, but I think
it's become, as you said, it's become a political issue. Not only in the Americas, it's become a political issue everywhere, and it is because people want to highlight these historical things and rewrite. Well, I'm not going to say rewrite, but change the way history was looked at before. And there's obviously the same with a war. You've got a side of the story from the winner of the war, or in this case, the winner on the side of history, and then you've got a side of the people that weren't on that winning side. But you can argue it all day long, and you'll probably never come to a conclusion. But It has become a political topic, and now it's spread into Spain. I'd never heard about this here in Spain until recently. That this movement is popping up. I think the Madrid president went to the States a few weeks ago, I think it was, and she was talking about it there, and because obviously she knew that Biden was going to mention something on Columbus Day.
Well, everybody has their own agenda, and they want to attract the different political market of the voters that they want to appeal.
That's it.
It's basically a market. One thing that I want to say is that you cannot judge history with the glasses of today. You cannot,
of course,
value history with today's values, with today's knowledge. You have to think about trying to put yourself in that people's shoes, obviously. So it's very difficult to do that. And anybody that it could be a little bit smart on there will realize that. And history is what it brings us around here.
Of course.
As around the history has been different empires, different colonization models, and for the good or for the bad, it is what it is, as you said. Es lo que hay.
Fortunately or fortunately, depending what side of the fence you sit on, it is what it is. And as I said, you can sit here and debate these topics until you're blue in the face, Ivan, but you're not gonna change history, So whether it's an apology but it does stir up political sentiment, and that's what happens here. You can see that the right-wing parties take it one way and the left-wing parties look at it another way, and it's just another thing that divides the population.
Exactly.
It'll go away for the next 8 or 9 months, and then it'll pop up again next year around the same time, and
definitely,
and that's what will happen.
It's pretty much it. Yeah, it's as we mentioned in our previous episode. Is another reason to maybe gain votes or get traction with certain demographics, and suddenly for Spain, we like debate, we like this kind of taking part, unfortunately being on the streams from time to time. But
there's a book that I read, and I don't know if you've read it or not, but it's called Why Nations Fail, and I'll put a picture of the cover up on the video, and it's worth the read. It's a book by a couple of academics, I think, that study the history of various countries around the world. They look at South America and why a lot of those countries haven't really become as rich as they could have become, and they look at the reasons for that, why there is a divide between the North and the South. And it's an interesting read, and I recommend it for anybody out there that's trying to put the puzzle together.
That's a very good recommendation. I haven't read that one, Stuart, but definitely I will keep an eye for that.
Why nations fail. Good.
So another thing, just a quick reminder, and that's pretty much keeping everybody informed. I know that in many countries, and especially in Australia, I have been listening to the ABC from time to time lately, and they have been covering the volcano. It is 1 month. Well, today is Tuesday. It has been 1 month since the eruption of the volcano, and it's still cracking.
Yeah.
So that has not changed. It has not faded out from the headlines,
No.
and you should be aware of that if you are out there and if you are planning to visit the Canaries because the situation is still ongoing.
Yeah, it's been ongoing for the last month, and it doesn't look like settling down.
Yeah, it was reading. I don't remember. I think it was in the El Mundo. I read that it was like the worst eruption basically in history in that island, and they have this nice infographic how the different eruptions has been flowing through the island, and in comparison, this year one it has been like 10 times worse. It's incredible.
Are all the Canary Islands volcanic?
I think they are. Well, 99% sure they are. I have been in Lanzarote. I have been in Tenerife myself. All the black sand, when not pebbles, beaches are around there. I remember in Lanzarote there was, I think it was an exposition. I don't remember if it was like the Manrique house, and they tell you how the islands were formed. Probably, there's this kind of information in many other islands as well. But I'm pretty sure all of them, they are volcanic, as it is Madeira as well, the Portuguese one in the Atlantic. And they are not as active, but just get you a surprise from time to time.
That's right. Yeah.
And I remember being a big fan when I went to Sicily to go to Stromboli. It has the name, and it has been erupted since a long time ago. And I thought, well, it was amazing that how it's still an active volcano. And just thinking how it could be now in La Palma is quite amazing.
I know New Zealand has a similar issue with. I think there's an active volcano there that erupted a few years ago, and a few people died, unfortunately, that were in the wrong place at the wrong time. I think they were doing some type of tourist activities there, but I remember you could see it because I went to New Zealand many years ago now, and we went to a place called Rotorua, and we headed to the coast from there, and you could see the smoke coming out of the volcano even 30 years ago, and it's just a lot of the times it's just a question of time before they do erupt.
Yeah, it's just the power of nature. I guess these kind of things happen, like tornadoes and flooding, etc., etc. It has happened throughout history, but now we have more covers, we have cameras in everybody's pocket. Correct, and we have been building in places where we shouldn't be building. And talking about in La Palma, I think one of those municipalities, they built on top of the last flow that it was
Todoke, was it probably?
Yeah, I'm not so sure if that was that one of the one beside it, but it was like the previous flow of the lava, and then you build on top, thinking for the best, obviously. In Murcia also is very popular to build in the dry courses of river. When these big storm is just amazing, and you see every single year they have exactly the same problematic, and they keep parking the cars there. Maybe some small buildings around, and this is a dry course of a river.
I know in Malaga. I know in Malaga.
More about these things.
I know in I was just going to say. I know in Malaga they have the same issue. How they have the mountains behind Malaga, and the water obviously comes down to the ocean. And I remember going to a part of Malaga many years ago called Rincón de la Victoria is the name of the place, and they actually had a chiringuito in one of these dry riverbeds. So there was, obviously not every year it floods, but it has, that chiringuito has been destroyed maybe 2 or 3 times in the last 20 years because it's built in the wrong place,
Correct. Yeah, as beautiful as it could be,
That's it. But in the summer months, people sit there and eat their pescadito frito, and happy as Larry, waiting for disaster to come. But it is what it is, as we say.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully they're doing with full knowledge of these things. So if they have an insurance, or if the insurance don't
I
insure them,
suppose.
it's because they have done their own risk assessment. The sad of this thing is that many people might get deceived. This is a lovely spot, and they don't really know much about the area or these kind of
Yeah.
things that might happen. I don't know, once in a decade or once in a year.
Well, there's also been the case, as you know, Ivan, that there's a lot of those paseo maritimos, those walkways along the coast that have blocked the access of water to the ocean, and they do create problems as well.
Correct. Yeah. At the end, it had been quite a development in Spain. I think it was in the 50s, 60s when we wanted to attract foreign
Tourists.
currency towards the end of the dictatorship. We start building there non-stop.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember. I was very, very little at that time. There was a program called Un, Dos, Tres. I don't know if maybe you
No,
were
it's
not
before
in the
my
country.
time.
Okay, so basically, I remember this program. It was kind of like a typical TV show night with different contests with participants, etc., and the big pot. It was like to choose in between a car and an apartment. Usually, it was a summer apartment, kind of like the Torrevieja, the Benidorm, these kind of things that they were like picking up at that time. And you know what? Surprisingly, most of the people choose the car.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't choose the
remember,
apartment?
Yeah, no. Having a beach apartment back in the days, it was
Wasn't popular.
Yeah, it wasn't popular, and it was everybody Tom, Dick, and Harry thing. So,
well, I suppose that if you didn't have a car, it was difficult to get to the coast if you're in Madrid. So you have to get one thing before the other, I suppose. That was maybe the reason. But actually, that program that you mentioned there, Un, Dos, Tres, that was actually the starting point for a lot of celebrities here in Spain, wasn't it? Didn't people
kind of like a contest, and the producer and the presenter it becomes very famous as well. Yeah, it's kind of like an institution in Spain. I don't know if there's other programs around there. But yeah, definitely mark some history in Spanish TV.
All right, great. Anything else today, Ivan?
Not much, Stuart. Just wanted to say that for the following episode, I would like to do some kind of like question and answer section.
Okay.
I know that there has been quite a lot of debate and questions and comments in the previous editions of our chats. So I would like to welcome anybody to participate, to leave the comments below, and I will try to do my best.
that you are going to answer.
Absolutely. I will try to do my best at least.
All right, great.
Questions or some topic that you would like me to discuss or give me my opinion, I will be more than happy to.
So questions for Ivan next week in the comment section below.
There you go.
All right. All right, great. Good one, Ivan. We'll finish up there. We'll be in contact for next week, okay? Hopefully we'll get we'll get a few questions.
I'm sure we will.
All right. See you later. Have a good one.
Stay safe, Stuart. Take care.
Bye.
See ya.